Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to week 25 of your SAT Math Prep. This video is aimed at the sophomores who are in Algebra 1 or regular Algebra 2. This is designed to allow you to see the lesson that was taught during your math plug time this week, and this video is aimed at those students who either A, were not present for plug time and need to make up the skill check, or B, don't remember what we did in plug time and need to finish the skill check. So again, we're going to go through some examples, and then when we get done going through the examples, you will need to head over to the Google Classroom and complete the quiz is check of the material. So make sure that you're writing down everything that we talk about here so that you have it available to you when it comes time to do the skill check. So again, this week, we're still talking quadratic functions, but we are switching gears from what we've done the last couple weeks to talk about specific. We're still working with parts, but we've got a couple of new problem types to look at this week. So, example 1 says the graph of y equals x squared minus 2x minus 4 has a vertex at the point hk. And then it says, what is the value of 5h minus 3k? So we will need to find the vertex. Remember that the x coordinate of the vertex, which would be the h value, is the axis of symmetry, negative b over 2 times a, where a is the number in front of the x squared, which is 1. B is the number in front of the x, and it doesn't ask for it, but remember that thus a, b, and c are these numbers in the equation. So when we do opposite of b over 2 times a, that would be positive 2 over 2 times 1, which means h is 1. Then to find the k value, we need to know the value of y when x equals 1. Okay, so we're going to find the k value by plugging that 1 into the equation for x. So for both x values in the equation, we are going to plug in h. That would give us 1 minus 2 minus 4, which is negative 5 for the k value. This tells us, and this is where it would come in your class, that the vertex of the graph is at the point 1, negative 5. But we are far more interested in the values of h and k, because the question that's asked is, what is the value of 5 times h, which is 1, minus 3 times k, which is negative 5. That would be 5 plus 15, or 20. So the answer to the question is A, 20. Okay, example 2 is similar to one that we did last week. It says an equation for the graph shown is y equals quantity x plus 3 times quantity x minus b, where b is a constant. What is the value of b? So when we're looking at this factored form, again, the reason they would give us that is so that we could find the solutions, which are also known as the roots, the zeros, or the x-intercepts of the graph. We would plug in 0 for y, which means that one of those two factors, either x plus 3 or x minus b, has to equal 0, which tells us that the solutions of the equation are x equals negative 3 or x equals b. Well, these are the solutions, which is a fancy word for x-intercepts. Okay, it could also be the word root could be used, the word 0 could be used, or x-intercepts. Okay? Well, if we look at the graph has two x-intercepts. It has an x-intercept at x equals negative 3, which is right there, x equals negative 3, and it has one at x equals 1, which means this has to be x equals 1, meaning b is 1. So what is the value of b? The answer would be A, positive 1. Okay, our third and final example is also similar to one that we did last week. It says the graph of the quadratic function f is shown in the xy plane. If a is a 0, that's a keyword, of function f, what is one possible value of a? Again, 0 is one of the 4 magic words. It means exactly the same thing as the word solution, as the word root, or as the term x-intercept. So what we want to focus is, we've got the graph, so we want to focus on the word x-intercept. This graph has 2 x-intercepts, okay? The x-intercepts of the graph are x equals -5 or x equals +1. Which means your a value has to be one of those 2 numbers. And only one of those 2 numbers is offered as an option. The answer is A, +1. Okay, so at this point we have finished going through the examples, and you should have the notes written down. You can use those notes on the quiz. Make sure that you get that completed because it is being included in your math grade. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and attention. See you next week.